Welcome back, everybody. Base building is without a doubt one of the core gameplay features of Unturned, and probably will be in Unturned 2. But since its release back in 2014, it, well, changed. When you play Unturned Survival nowadays, you rarely see any more of those epic mega bases overshadowing everyone who passes by. Most bases you see today are similar to this. Small, defenseless, but well hidden from most raiders. Why the change, and why does almost no one build those amazing bases like everybody did when base building was first released? And most importantly, what should base building look like in Unturned 2? It all came to my mind when I started to play Unturned again, which was about a month ago. I realized that most people I played with back in the day left the game for something else. Of those who haven't been dragged into Rust, many don't even play survival games anymore. And I think that's a problem which has built itself throughout Unturned's development. Unturned has turned into a completely different game. A PvP game instead of a survival game. When I talked to them about why they left the game, the answer was often that there are no vanilla servers anymore, or that the experience is simply different. Now, while this is certainly not 100% true, there was in fact a huge decrease in vanilla servers over time. Looking through the server list, most servers feature cheats, kits, or at the very least teleporting. Vanilla servers themselves are so rare, I have seen people complain about how the kits command doesn't work in chat on vanilla servers, just because it has become so mainstream that many players, especially the ones who joined after 3.0, probably never even played on a vanilla server. They just don't know the experience. Now, it might be sad to see that Unturned is not getting played in a way it was supposed to, but if you ask me, all those PvP servers are simply a logical consequence of Unturned's broken base building system. It simply doesn't work at all, and if Nelson will make the same mistake in Unturned 2, I feel like the same thing will happen there as well. Let me explain. The idea of a base is that you have a place on the map which you can consider at least partially safe. A spot where you can put all your loot, log out, and don't have to worry about everything getting stolen. But the problem is that Nelson implemented a base building system, but you cannot build a base. At least not a base which fits this definition. Obviously, no base should be indestructible, but bases in Unturned are that easy to destroy that it is simply not worth to build one. Building a decent base, which includes farming some scrap metal, acquiring a chainsaw, chopping down trees, and obviously the building process itself can take you an entire afternoon, or even more if you're going to build a big one. I don't necessarily have a problem with bases being time consuming to build, but the balance needs to work both ways. You cannot make it so hard to build a base and then so easy to raid it. It just cannot be that a honeycomb base which takes an entire afternoon to build can be raided with just a few C4. And while you can argue that you can always build it bigger, the problem is that you have to protect your base against so many ways of getting raided. As an example, it is not sufficient to simply build a 10 by 10 base and then put all your loot into the middle. If you want to build a base where the attacker must destroy 5 buildables before he can access your loot, you have to build the base also 5 stories high. Because otherwise, everyone with an umbrella can simply build a ramp somewhere in the distance and then jump onto your roof. A claim flag won't help either, and for such a base, you would have to get 4,700 wood logs just to build all the basic walls, floors and pillars. Add all the scrap metal necessary for doors and you'll see that that's just insane. And keep in mind, all it takes to raid this thing is 5 C4 charges or, get this, 1 Dragonfang mag. Now, I understand that there are smarter ways to build, but the problem still stays the same. Bases are extremely weak and just straight out broken. When it all comes together, you simply can't save your loot anywhere at all in Unturned, with the only valid option being stashes which are hidden somewhere underwater or in caves. And that's why many people opted out to either play on modded servers or quit the game completely. If you ask me, many people who play on modded servers don't just play there because they find it too hard to get geared on vanilla servers, but because they have no place to save their loot. Most modded servers have some sort of economy. You can sell a Maple Strike for a certain amount of money, and you can buy one for a slightly higher amount of money. If you think about it, your bank account on such a server is nothing more than just a completely unraidable base, where you store your resources in. Now, I don't know what you guys think about this, but in my opinion, Unturned didn't become as much of a PvP game as it is today because of the many guns Nelson added, or because of the modability of the servers, but more so because just too many people don't want to waste time building a base and farming gear when it will get raided just a few hours later. So they choose the easy option of being able to store all their gear in a bank account in form of cash. But how should Nelson handle this in Unturned 2? Well, in my opinion, there's an easy solution to all of this. Just make all bases 5 to 10 times stronger. 5 times stronger bases don't protect anyone from getting raided. If you build a stupid 2x2 shit shack, people are still going to get your stuff with 2 explosive charges. But if you actually take time and think about your base design, you have a good chance that your base will survive for at least a few days. In regards to Unturned 1, however, I don't think that he will make any big changes to the base building system anymore. But since most players who play the classic survival game mode left the game anyways by now, I doubt that this change would even bring back a lot of them anyways. But despite all that, here's my offer to you guys. Since I love the game so much and I really feel like stronger bases would actually make Unturned a lot better and playable again, I created a server again. It is fully vanilla on normal difficulty, with the only exception that base parts like walls will have 5 times as much HP as usual. I just want to see if this really allows people to build those massive bases again, which are actually, at least kind of, safe. I also want to fail a raid for once. Since I started playing Unturned again a few months ago, it hasn't happened to me once that we didn't have enough C4 or military ammo to raid the base completely. We often even raided half a server with just one Saturday of farming. But yeah, all in all, I would love to see the bases getting stronger in Unturned 2 again, so building would actually be a valid time investment and people wouldn't start to hop onto PvP kit servers after the first few months the game was released. Now tell me what you guys think about those changes and if you feel the same way as I do. The server I told you about will be running for at least 6 months from now or until Unturned 2 will be released, so maybe we will meet each other on there. Thanks for watching, and until next time.